Hey everybody, I got a video here for you today, and I've had some questions and comments on ancient Ur, and really that comes from, most famously, I guess, from the Old Testament, and this down here in the bottom right is what most people associate ancient Ur of the biblical text to, and we'll just go over and take a brief look at this. And these are the remains in southern Iraq. I believe this is where this is located. And if we back out here, in ancient times, this was right, really, on the mouth of a body of water, and it has dried up over a few thousand years. But this is really where ancient Ur of the Bible is referred to in most cases. And that's totally wrong. But this is definitely a very cool, famous ancient site. Maybe I'll make a video on this in the near future about the history of this, but this goes back many thousands of years, and the historical significance of this place is certainly there, and I'm just trying to tie it into the Bible. But really, you can't. There's only one explanation for the ancient city of Ur, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Now, let's just read here where this Ur is located. And it says, and it's directly connected to Abraham, the city of Ur. It says, "And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there." So, clearly, Haran is on the way between Ur and Canaan. Now let's just go over to Google Earth here. So we know where ancient Haran is, and I've talked about this in a few videos. And to me, it's clearly tied into the Tower of Babel story. But this is ancient Haran right here. And this seems just to be a very ancient artificial mound built up, kind of like a few other sites I've talked about in this area. But this is ancient Haran right here. And if they set out from Ur and they stopped in Haran, this is Haran, we know that, then Ur must be north, because they were coming down into Canaan, which is down here. And clearly, this ancient Haran here, let's just take a peek at this. And this is all that is left today. And I guess this is guarded pretty heavily. But this is the ancient site of Haran. And it's built up over thousands of years of habitation. And really the only thing we have left is the remains of a tower that was once here. And from the ancient text, this tower was built in remembrance of a much more ancient tower that was here. And the Tower of Babel story, I believe, comes from here. And I think this is also where the tarot cards originated from, and the tower card comes from the tower that was once here. But here you can see this ancient tell, or whatever they call these mounds, but this is just clearly an ancient mound built up over thousands of years of habitation. You can see how this is pockmarked, and just clearly very ancient. And this is the ancient Haran of the Bible. So clearly Ur is up to the north of it. And the ancient city of Urfa, which to me is clearly the ancient Ur of the Bible, is right up here. I have talked about the history of this place coming from 2,000 years ago and how important that was. This was called Edessa. It held the most important religious relic of all time. The city of Edessa did. It was called the image of Edessa. And we know that today as the Shroud of Turin. This is where it was kept, right down here. And this city is just steep in ancient history, coming from a few different periods. And if we go over here, this is present-day Sanlurfa, ancient Urfa also known as ancient Edessa, about 2,000 years ago. What is this place? This is the cave, the birthplace of Abraham. And there is fish pools that I've talked about, the transitioning history of those fish pools in present-day San Lurfa, and the connection to Abraham. This is clearly where ancient Ur of the Bible is. Now let's just go on and read some other biblical text here. Now this is Genesis 28, and we have Jacob sent to the land of Abraham. It says here, "And where you now reside as a foreigner, the land God gave to Abraham. Then Isaac sent Jacob on his way, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, who was the mother of Jacob and Esau." So, clearly when Jacob is sent to this land of Abraham, he went to Padan Aram. And where is Padan Aram? Well, it is the land right around Haran. That is where this is located. And what do we also know about that journey of Jacob to the land of Abraham? It says that, "So he fled with all he had, crossed the Euphrates River, and headed for the hill country of Gilead." Now, if Jacob had to cross the Euphrates River, well, that makes sense from up here in present-day San Lurfa, ancient Urfa. But if he was down here, he wouldn't have had to cross Euphrates. That makes no sense in this Ur of Iraq. Clearly, the Ur they are talking about in the biblical text, because everything tells you it is from this area, in even the names of the people associated with the lineage of Abraham, those names are also cities in this area. Ancient Ur is ancient Urfa, present-day San Lurfa. Now, what I should also mention about this area and biblical connections that people have made, and I can see where they make these, the Noah story, and what is in the original text, not Ararat, but the mountain that Noah's Ark is supposed to have rested on from the original text, is kind of near here. And right next door, I mean literally right next door, is Göbekli Tepe, the 12,000-year-old site, and some people have connected that to Eden, and I can kind of see why, but I just thought I would mention that also. And I should also throw in that this video has absolutely zero to do with the historical accuracy of the biblical text. It's just one thing I find fascinating, and clearly Abraham is tied in to ancient Haran, and everything tells us ancient Ur is Urfa up here. So once again, they left ancient Ur and they came to Haran, and people think ancient Ur is all the way down here. That is absolutely silly to me. They left ancient Ur, they came to Haran. Ancient Edessa was ancient Urfa, and these are the sacred fish pools of Abraham. That story is tied directly into Nimrud, but these fish pools go back to a previous history coming from around 2,000 years ago, and I've talked about that. But ancient Ur, they came to Haran. This was an ancient highway on foot. They crossed the Euphrates. That's something that is told in the story of Jacob when he goes up to the homeland. The cities up here are tied to that story. Nothing to do with this area down here whatsoever. If we go over here to this map, red is Abraham's journey, leaves Urfa, comes to ancient Haran, and this is the route on foot that was taken down to Canaan, to Jerusalem. Jacob went to Padan Aram, which is located right here. Everything tells us ancient Ur is ancient Urfa, also ancient Edessa from 2,000 years ago, present-day San Lurfa. It is so clear, it is so obvious. It is located right here. It is ancient Ur of the Bible. Why do I say this? Because everything tells us that. Just thought I would make that video. Hope you thought that was interesting, and you all have a very nice day.